This is Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Michelle Martin.
And I'm Steve Inskeep.
Marketplace Morning Report is coming up next, and then in 10 minutes at 9 o'clock, it's the BBC NewsHour on WNYC. Let's check in with London to see what they're working on. London, good morning.
Good morning, WNYC. I'm James Menendez. Today on NewsHour, a breakthrough in the dispute that's brought Hollywood to a standstill. Striking screenwriters say they've reached a tentative deal with the studios. Also, we'll talk to the former British Prime Minister Gordon Brown, who's calling for a climate tax on the world's richest oil states. That's BBC NewsHour at 9 on WNYC.
We could have some coastal flooding this afternoon in Manhattan and northern New Jersey. There's a gale warning now for strong winds and hazardous seas from Sandy Hook to Montauk, so be careful out there. Rain today, widespread fog and a high near 61, and then 61 in showers right now.
Support for WNYC comes from Bank of America, offering access to resources and digital tools designed to help local to global companies make moves for their businesses. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/banking for business. Leadership support for WNYC comes from the Jerome L. Green Foundation, a proud supporter of New York City's major cultural institutions, providing scholarships in the arts, education, and medicine.
A tentative deal in the Hollywood writers' strike, plus the unintended consequences of sanctions on Russians using Bitcoin.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by C3 AI. C3 Generative AI provides ChatGPT enterprise search that is verifiable, secure, and accurate across all enterprise data. C3.ai. This is enterprise AI. And by Odoo, focused on providing all-in-one open-source business management software with fully integrated applications for every business need. More at odoo.com.
I'm David Brancaccio in New York. Good morning to you. The Hollywood Writers Guild is calling a proposed 3-year contract agreement exceptional, but writers and actors will stay on strike until they can get a look at the deal and decide how to vote on it. Marketplace's Nova Safo reports.
The Writers Guild of America says it won, quote, meaningful gains and protections for writers. The union had been seeking improvements in pay, higher minimum number of writers working on shows, and protections on the use of artificial intelligence to create script material. For now, the two sides are finalizing contract language. The WGA expects to release details about the agreement in the coming days. The tentative deal will need to be ratified by members, though in the previous strike in 2008, more than 90% did approve the deal reached by their union representatives. In the meantime, writers can stop picketing, but the union cautions that they remain on strike as they have been since May 2nd. As for striking actors, who are also concerned about pay, the shift to streaming, and AI, there's no deal or negotiations yet. SAG-AFTRA, which represents them, said it's looking forward to reviewing the writers' agreement. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
This week, the Senate Banking Committee is set for a hearing on a bill to allow banks to serve the cannabis industry. Federal law prohibits that now, which makes life harder for cannabis businesses and customers in states that have legalized. Marketplace's Nancy Marshall-Genzer explains.
Dr. Shonda Macias owns a medical marijuana dispensary in Washington, D.C. If you want to buy cannabis, gummies, or edibles from her, you need cash. Macias can't take credit or debit cards. She can't find a bank to process the payments. That's because marijuana is still illegal under federal law. Macias says marijuana business owners like her have to do everything in cash, even making tax payments.
We have to set up an appointment and send people with thousands of dollars to a IRS facility.
The Secure and Fair Enforcement Regulation, or SAFER Banking Act, would ensure that owners of legal cannabis businesses in states where marijuana is legal can access banking services like credit card processing and loans. Julie Hill teaches law at the University of Alabama.
It would also provide a clear indication from Congress to bank regulators that they want there to be banking in this space.
Hill says banks would still have to certify their marijuana business customers were obeying state laws, for example, not selling to minors or growing without a permit. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
Markets, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all down 0.2% now. Crude oil is down slightly, moving below $90 a barrel just now.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Amazon Business. From small business to big enterprise and everything in between, Amazon Business helps simplify the supplies buying process. Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying. And by Affinity, helping investors navigate the relationship economy with the CRM built for private capital markets. Affinity.co/marketplace.
International sanctions against Russia target both traditional financial instruments and digital currencies like Bitcoin. The crypto rules try to prevent people moving wealth into and out of Russia, and last year the EU moved to stop Russians elsewhere in Europe from using cryptocurrency. But this is a blunt instrument. Levi Bridges reports.
After Russia invaded Ukraine, Olga Shkolina fled to the EU with her teenage daughter. Shkolina is an activist from northern Russia and left to avoid persecution from Russia's government. Shkolina landed safely in Poland, but the move complicated her financial life.
It's impossible to make a transfer from a Russian bank to a European one.
Shkolina says her ex-husband in Russia couldn't send her child support for their daughter because Western sanctions cut off Russian banks. So he started sending Shkolina the payments using cryptocurrency, which is decentralized, not connected to a bank. Shkolina would then convert her crypto into cash through what's called a crypto exchange.
They sent me a message saying that the transaction was blocked because of suspicious activity.
But Shkolina says last winter, those crypto child support payments were blocked. Russians like her were suddenly booted off major crypto exchanges after new EU sanctions took effect. The sanctions greatly affect Russian citizens like Shkolina, who live in the EU. The goal is to stop sanctioned Russians from finding loopholes to move money out of Russia to the West. But it turns out, within Russia, crypto can flow relatively freely.
It is still fairly easy to move rubles to different cryptocurrencies and vice versa.
Adam Zarazinski is CEO of the cryptocurrency analytics company Inca Digital. He says people living in Russia can still convert rubles into crypto through certain exchanges. And some people have even used crypto to support Russia's war against Ukraine.
A number of pro-Russian groups have raised crypto assets to the tune of $20 million.
Arda Akartuna tracks Russian groups that help fund the war with crypto. He's an analyst with Elliptic. He says the problem is smaller crypto exchanges can still do business within Russia. Western lawmakers have been cracking down on some exchanges, but plenty of crypto is still getting through that funds Russia on the battlefield. And ironically, the crypto sanctions are having a large effect on Russian anti-war activists. Again, crypto analyst Adam Zarazinski.
Unfortunately, Russians that are leaving Russia and against the war are getting swept up in the mix.
Many are living in Europe now after fleeing Russia. But the simple fact of them being Russian means their crypto wallets are now blocked. I'm Levi Bridges for Marketplace.
And plastic uses oil, right? Lego uses plastic, right? And the Danish toy maker had been testing bricks made from recycled bottles. News is the sustainability math doesn't work. The recycled bricks put more climate-altering carbon into the atmosphere than fresh bricks. When the full product lifestyle is taken into account, 1 pound of new ABS plastic generates 2 pounds of carbon, and Lego is now looking for ways to lower that ratio. In New York, I'm David Brancaccio. This is the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.